some of you already this morning. So I'll be doing, I'm not doing Italian, I'm going to do a Spanish dish, which will be chicken and chorizo. But risotto is one of my favourite dishes. So I'm going to see how a professional does it. So anyway, welcome today. I think we're going on to about 4:30, aren't we? So we've got a long day.
Yes, we do.
Now risotto, a lot of people seem to be frightened of making a risotto, and the secret of it is good stock. That's number one, isn't it?
Yes.
I think you use chicken stock or vegetable stock?
I use vegetable stock because we're going to do porcini mushroom risotto
So
today.
And I've got some pre-grilled Italian Tuscan sausages, which we also sell in our deli counter. While you wait for it, we have some of the finest Parmesan cheese currently on the market, minimum of 30 months matured. So we're going to let you all try about it. If you ever want to try this with a 100-year-old balsamic vinegar, I'm not trying to sell you something, but here everything is possible. Balsamic vinegar in our range, we have about 27 different varieties from 2 to 100 years of age. This is like syrup and it actually runs like honey. It's very, very sweet and it's been matured in a cask for up to 100 years and it's probably undoubtedly the finest I've ever tasted. So if you want to have a wee drop on it and try.
It's not really for cooking, it's for dipping your...
This is for dipping, exactly. So if you want to try some, feel free. It's like honey, if you want to try this.
You don't have to ask me twice.
Okay, normally, being it from Italian origin, I would never use olive oil to cook. We're working very closely with Olio Cali. They have like an olive oil museum in Tuscany, absolutely phenomenal. And they have single estate olive oils, 3 different varieties, which we also have. One is dedicato, used for dipping the bread in with balsamic vinegar. The fruity one, called frutato, is more for salad and garnishes and roasted vegetables. And this is called the tradizionale, which can actually resist the heat up to 400 degrees. So this one has been especially designed, as you see, it's already smoking without going on fire. So keep this
olive oil,
straight away burns, and I would never use it, but this one has been especially designed, which is fantastic. Take a bit the heat off. This is an induction cooker. I know you're selling this stuff, but this is German produce. So I just use some onions.
So you really sear it at a high heat. I think that's where people go wrong straight away, don't they? You've got to get the heat up.
Yes, and now I cool it down, so from now on it goes all very slowly, because risotto should be simmered, it shouldn't be cooked. So this is an induction cooker, works on a microwave basis and is about 10 times, 15 times faster.
And also it saves...
Also ridiculously fast.
Yeah. Energy, it saves about a third to 40% of your electricity.
Definitely.
The trick while you're doing that, how the induction works is basically it's a magnetic field, and all you're doing is increasing and decreasing the magnetic field strength. So you're saving a lot of money. 97% of all the energy from that magnet goes into the pan. Guess how much you're losing when you're doing ceramic? 48% straight out into the atmosphere. Gas, even more, 51, and that's in the web. So you're losing a lot of energy. You're tearing pound notes up every time you switch on your ceramic hob. And the price of electricity is just sky high at the moment. So, yeah, that's my little sales on induction.
Very good.
Now you've got porcini mushrooms.
Back to cooking again. Yes, these are porcini mushrooms from Italy.
Fantastic flavour.
Very, very good. The smell is here. What we do on a Saturday, we have cookery demonstrations. We show how it's done normally. A lot of people spending a long time in the kitchen. I think doing a risotto takes patience, and it takes from start to finish 21 minutes. How the chefs in the restaurant cut it short. I have originally roasted in olive oil the rice, which we use the arborio rice. The finest one is the carnaroli. I get to this very quickly because these are already pre-flavored, unseasoned, very easy to use. So I roast this off in olive oil and then cover it with liquid, i.e. vegetable stock. I'm fond of Knorr. Vegetable stock is gluten-free and it's vegetarian-friendly, very, very good. And then I just cook it for 7 minutes. I put it in a pot, all the liquid has been absorbed. So this is my basis of any flavor. I can do saffron risotto with prawns, I can do porcini mushroom, you can do even use this as a basis for paella. I mean, the sky's the limit. So basically I put the mushrooms in, the onions, always use a nice wine from Frascati, that's the perfect wine to do risotto. So I basically simmer this now for about 2 minutes, put the heat up, and I add a little bit of vegetable stock. If it gets too strong, I have water in here, okay? nowadays.
You can see the rice puffed up, isn't it?
Yes.
Really,
And reason why I roasted it in olive oil is to get rid of the silver skin around the rice corn. Usually the rice should be rinsed under cold water to get rid of the starch, to let the heat go in, and it's important with risotto that it's still cooked al dente. If you go in a restaurant, unfortunately, even if it's Italian, it will have been pre-cooked. It goes in a soup cup, in the microwave, turned upside down, and every one of us think this is how risotto should be done. If I show you how liquid risotto actually is, it's just a total different world.
That smells absolutely fantastic.
So
Intoxicating, really.
if you want to try some of the Parmesan, just reach it through. Agnes, you get some assist. That'll be alright. We're just going to try some Parmesan that keeps you busy. We're just going to reach through with the Parmesan. We also sell them by the wheel. We're probably the only one in a big radius who actually has whole Parmesan wheel. This is a minimum of 24 months matured. This one is 36. I only have very little left and I need to dig deep because the mold starts building in the front because it gets dry. Funny enough, we had an Italian customer the other day who says apparently mold is good for your hair, so that's another secret.
You know this.
Okay, so this is now going to the boil very quickly. I now add some rice. From here onwards it goes very, very quickly. It is important that you stir risotto at all the times because the starch will just sit on the bottom of the...
When I used to do risotto, I used to put the 1812 overture on.
Okay.
And you just stir to the, you know, get to the crescendo bit at the end, and then
Yes.
I know the risotto's been done. You know, that's.
Yeah, we use it all.
It's amazing how much it can still soak in the
Yes.
liquid, which is the secret of good risotto.
It goes up triple in size.
Yeah, triple in size.
So normally that's how you cook a pilaf. What you get in the Indian restaurants, they put 1 part of rice and 3 parts of water, a little bit of liquid, all the butter in the oven. By the time the liquid is done, rice is cooked. Very, very easy. So cooking is actually very easy as long as you know how it's done.
In fact, when I'm doing demos, I do about 170, 180 a year. Rice is in the top 5. How do I cook rice properly? It's always there, always in the top 5.
Okay, reason why I'm using the arborio, there's 3 different, but I cannot remember which one is the third. There's an arborio and there's the carnaroli. The carnaroli is the finer version of it and it's more used. The same company we have the olive oil from has now produced saffron rice and risotto ai funghi porcini. So these are dried mushroom. All the seasoning, everything you need for a risotto is already in this bag. All you add is just shy of 1 liter of water and just wait until the water disappears. You have the perfect risotto afterwards. So again, we don't want to spend too much time in the kitchen. Hopefully you have, we do, yes, it's our job, otherwise we would have no job. So add on a little bit more vegetable stock and you just let it disappear over and over again.
Because that's the secret, is adding the stock.
Yes, as you go along. So you can always be in charge of the consistency. If you want it stodgy, don't add any liquid, it will be very, very dry. And if the more liquid you have, the more creamier it will get. Just get some spoons. About the magic ingredients, you're the master of kitchen gadgets, so am I. This is grati ariete, which is the perfect dish for creating parmesan. Nobody in the UK has it apart from us because I actually bring it directly from Italy. We haven't got many of those colourful ones left because they fill nicely any kitchen. The white ones are still available and I show you how easy it works. You put a piece of parmesan in and grate it and it goes on top of your risotto.
When do you normally season? Towards the end?
I use very, very little seasoning because I really believe in the raw vegetable stock. It is perfectly balanced. It has no MSG and it is just basic ingredients and it's gluten-free and vegetarian friendly. So
the reason I mentioned that is a lot of people put the stock in there. Of course, then they put the salt in during it. Of course, if you're reducing anything, you're increasing the salt content. It's very, very difficult to get salt out of anything. I mean, they say in the stew you can put a couple of potatoes and it soaks it up, but really it's better to put seasoning at the end. And all chefs, anyone should taste their food right at the end, and that's when you adjust seasoning. That's correct.
Yes. I barely use seasoning, but I always think there's too much salt in our diets anyway.
Yeah. In fact, my brother's a chef, still is, and he doesn't put any salt in at all. He was saying that the tongue here, if you keep putting salt in it, it demands more salt, same as sugar.
Yeah.
So if you cut out salt or sugar, or take sugar for instance, if you cut that out for a month, then you try going back to having a cup of tea or coffee with one sugar in, you think it's 3 or 4 in there. So that's, and I agree with you, I hardly use much salt at all.
That's the difference in here. We will be using perfect Parmesan. We have a perfect risotto, fantastic wine going with it. And by the time we put the butter in to make it creamy, no cream at all, and then the Parmesan, you have the perfect balance. So I would never put any salt in, because this has actually quite a big...
We got salt in there.
Exactly. The older the Parmesan gets, it develops the salt crystals, and you can actually feel it. Is it still going round? I think so, yes. Oh, did you not go through? Did you try some? No. Just pass it through, that's fine. The balsamic vinegar goes with it. Also a nice piece of gorgonzola or cheese with the... Now obviously we cook the rice al dente, just like pasta. I find it sometimes funny when you serve al dente pasta and people say it's not cooked right, because it's just, unfortunately, in a restaurant again, chefs always pre-cook the pasta, you get it reheated, and it's just not the same, and I think it's always a shame. People should take a little bit more attention to detail, and if you have good food, cook it to perfection as you can. I always say if you have a good basic product, it's very, very hard to actually make a dish wrong. Okay, we're nearly there. And it's getting now thicker and thicker, but you can see it's still liquid, because once I put the butter in, there's the famous sauce in France called beurre blanc or beurre rouge. The French, they use a lot of butter in it. They never use flour, because you need to take another 20 minutes to cook away the flour, and it gets very starchy. So basically it's hot liquid and ice cold butter from the fridge, and it makes it really nice and creamy. Another trick. But of course, the more butter you put in, the richer the dish will get. And we're actually going away from cooking with butter quite a lot. I think the old like retro style with decoration, the old grandmother style cooking is coming out again with a new twist. Quite right. Not as much cooking as it was good then, and it's good now again. I think they were all carried away with the nouvelle cuisine. When Bocuse came up with it, the portions became so little you had to look on the plate where the food was. Now we go back to wholesome homemade food.
A little bit of what you fancy.
Yes. As to say in the advert, just like Mama used to do it. Okay, a little bit more, but nearly there. As you can see. And I cut this down by 1/3, so you can imagine how long it takes to do a risotto in your own kitchen.
They'll all be going out to buy the 1812 overture.
Or what is that song? Because 18 minutes, this is the Spanish also. I can't remember what it's called. It's like this famous, it goes exactly 18 minutes. Yes. Yeah.
Does anyone know in the audience? No?
I can't remember what it's called.
We'll be singing it in a minute.
There you go. And here, we'll be smelling Italian sausage from Tuscany. Okay, we're going to take a piece of Parmesan now. This is a proper Italian Parmesan knife. Just put the cheese in here, and it gets grated inside in here. Good for every piece of beef. You can see it just comes out. You don't have to do anything by hand anymore. Just wait till the end. Put the temperature down. Okay, a little bit more liquid in there. There's enough wine in, so you have the acidity of the wine, you have the taste of the vegetable stock, you have the onion, perfect porcini mushrooms, and now we put in just a little butter to make it creamy, as I said. And then we're going to taste it.
Who likes risotto here? So we have fans already. Good.
Still liquid, still runny, and that's how it's supposed to be on the plate. And then we put the Parmigiano in.
How much will this last? How long will this last? A week?
If I'm lucky, 2 weeks, yeah, 2 or 3 weeks, yes. It goes very quickly once we open. It's 44 kilo of pure quality. I said already, when Nick Nairn was here on the opening day, he was just coming back from Parma and he had the perfect Parmesan cheese matured 48 months, and he says that was probably the finest he tried. We came close second, but the Parmesan here doesn't last as long to actually mature it to 48 months, so should I have a wee bit extra money, we'll just keep them in the cupboard until it's time. Okay, so that's it.
Fantastic text.
This side. Sausages, we'll try. I've pre-grilled them. I'll try some.
I'll take the plate away.
Okay.
We've got a good job, really.
Yes. Yeah.
How'd you manage to do this one?
Spent half a day in the gym. There you go, who wants to try? How I can do with the hands. You don't get paid to work here, huh? Are you sure? I'm just going to pour this quickly in here and I put the sausage on. Just a wee spoon, and I put the sausage on. Okay, feel free to take your... Just like a banquet thing.
The old job, that.